Hi, today we're looking at Functional Skills Maths Entry Level 3. We've got the Pearson Edexcel exam board. This is past paper 3 and we're going to start with the non-calculator section. Question 1. Ellery and her friends plan an adventure holiday together. Ellery buys these items for the holiday. Boots, £169. And rucksack, £245. Calculate the total of these amounts. Okay, so we've got £169 for the boots and £245 for the rucksack. So we're going to work this out with the column method. So we've got 9 plus 5. So start with 9 and we'll count on 5. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we write the units here. We're going to carry that one for later. Now we've got 6 plus 4. So start with 6. So 7, 8, 9, 10. And one more is 11. So put the unit and then carry the 10. 1 plus 2 is 3. And another one is 4. So we've got 414. And we can write that in there. Question 2. Ellery goes on holiday for 14 days. She needs £25 spending money each day. How much spending money does Ellery need in total? Okay, so 14 days, £25 each day. So it's going to be 14 lots of 25. So we could do that as a column multiplication, or we can split it up. We can think of it as, instead of 14, we can think of it as 10 lots of 25 and 4 lots of 25. So 4 plus 10, so we're getting 14 lots of 25 in total, but it makes the calculations a bit easier, because if we're multiplying something by 10, we just need to put a 0 on the end. And now we're left with this 4 times 25. Well, we can work this one out up here. But the reason it's nicer than doing 14 times 25 is we haven't got 2 digits by 2 digits, which can get a bit more complicated. So we've split it up, so we've got a nice, easy multiplication by 10. And now we've just got the 25 times 4. So 4 times 5, so we've got 5, 10, 15, 20. 0 and carry the 2. And 4 times 2, or 2 times 4, well, 2 4s are 8, plus a 2 is 10. So we've got 100. So now we need to add these two together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 1 is 3. So we've got a total of 350. Which we can put down here. And they've already put the pound sign for us, so we don't need to add that. Question 3. Ellery wants to be fit for the adventure holiday. She runs 2 laps of a running track. Each lap is 400 metres. Ellery thinks she has run 1 kilometre in total. Is Ellery correct? Show why you think this. Well, she's running 2 laps of 400 metres. Well, we could do 2 times 400, or we could do 400 plus another 400. So I'm going to do it as a plus. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is still 0. 4 plus another 4. Well, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 800 metres. Okay, this is how much she's run. She thinks she's run 1 kilometre. Well, 1 kilometre is 1,000 metres. She's actually only run 800. So we can say, well, 800 is less than 1,000. So is Ellery correct? No. She's incorrect. Okay. She thinks she's run 1,000, but she's only run 800. And we can then tick the no box down here. Question 4. Ellery books a climbing activity. There are 138 people in total on the activity. The people are put into teams. There are 12 people in each team. Any people left over are in a small group. How many teams are there? Show how many people are in the small group. Show your working and your answer here. Okay, so we want to know how many teams of 12 we can get out of 138. Or in other words, 138 divided by 12. Okay, well, we can actually do this using the bus stop method. It might not look nice at first because we've got a 2-digit number, but let's see what happens. If we put 138 here, and we need 12 to go into it, well, 12 won't go into 1. So we say, well, what about how many times does 12 go into 13? Well, 12 goes into 13 once, with 1 left over. Because from 12 to 13 it's 1. So we can carry that one over here. And how many times does 12 go into 18? Well, 12 goes into 18 once. And how many left over? Well, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that was remainder 6. So we're going to have 11 full teams and 6 people in the small group. Now, if you're not comfortable doing this division in this way, then you can use some facts that you know. So you can think, well, maybe, well, how can I get close to 138 using my 12 times table? Well, you could say, well, I know that 10 lots of 12, I just add a 0 on the end, is going to be 120. I'm just going to finish this off. So this is an alternative or. And then we can say, well, 138, if I subtract the 120 that I've used, what's left? 8 minus 0 is still 8. 3 minus 2 is 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So we could say that it's 10, remainder 18. But actually 12 goes into 18 as well. And this is what we saw down here. 12 goes into 18 once. And then from 12 to 18, we've got 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we get 1, remainder 6, or in total, we have 11, remainder 6. So a different way of thinking of it. The bus stop method works great if you're comfortable with it. If not, think about other ways you can do it based on times tables or number facts that you already know. And now for the calculator section. Question 1. Ellery and her friends plan an adventure holiday. The graph shows rainfall in the UK last year. So we've got rainfall in the UK. We've got the months down at the bottom. So we've got April, May, June, July, August and September. And we've got the amount of rainfall here, and they're telling us it's in millimetres. So here's the height. Ellery thinks that there was twice as much rainfall in May than in June. So we're interested in May and June. Is Ellery correct? Well, let's find out. Well, if we want to know how much rainfall there was in May and June to start with. So May is this one up here. Now if we read across, that's the value we want to find out, this one here. But if you look at these gaps, they're not going up by 1 each time, because if they did, we'd have 91, 92, 93, 94. Oh, we've reached 100. So we've got to work out what each of these gaps are worth. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaps. But we've got a difference of 10. So if we think 10 divided by 5, well, you can check it with a calculator, we get 2. So what that means is each of these is going up by 2 each time. So 92, 94, 96, 98, 100. So this value here is 94. Now we're interested in the amount of rainfall in June as well. So if we go up from June to here and then read across. Okay, now we can start from 40 and count up in twos, 42, 44, 46, 48. Or we could have started in 50 and gone down by 2. Okay, so what was the actual question? Ellery thinks that there was twice as much rainfall in May than in June. Let's see the numbers here. Well, let's do twice May then. So let's have 2 times 48. Well, twice May's rainfall would be 96 millimetres. And 96 is actually more than there was in June. 94 millimetres. This is the bit where we've got to be careful to work out, is she right or not? Which way round is it? She thinks there was twice as much rainfall in May than in June. Well, actually, twice would be 96. There was only 94, so it wasn't twice as much. So we can say no. Move this up there. Was less than twice as much rainfall in June. Oh, no, it should be in May. Or twice as much in May than there was in June. Okay, don't worry about the explanation too much, so long as we've got the numbers to back it up and we've given the right yes or no. And then we just need to tick it down here. Question 2. Ellery looks for a holiday cottage. She chooses the cheapest cottage with 4 bedrooms. Which cottage does Ellery choose? Right, and we've got a few to choose from down here. We've got 6 of them altogether. Well, we needed the cheapest cottage with 4 bedrooms. Well, cottage A's only got 3 bedrooms, so this can't be that one. This has got 4 bedrooms. This has got 4 bedrooms. Cottage D has only got 3, so it can't be that one. Cottage E's got 4. Cottage F has only got 3, so it can't be any of those 3. So it's going to be cottage B, cottage C, or cottage E. And we want the cheapest one. Well, these two both start with 700. This starts with 800, so it's not that one. So which one is less? 790 or 783? Well, we've got the same number of hundreds. We've got fewer tens here, so it's going to be £783. Or if we want the actual cottage name, it's going to be cottage E. Question 3. The total cost of travel for the holiday is £296. The 4 friends share this cost equally. How much does each friend pay? So we've got £296. We want to share it or divide it by the 4 people. So 296 divided by 4. And we get, and it's money, so it's pounds, £74, which we can write in there. Okay, question 4a. Round 296 to the nearest 100. Well, which 100 numbers is this in between? Well, we're going to have 200 would be down at one end. We'll draw a number line here. And the next 100 up from that would be 300. So we know that 296 is more than 200, but less than 300. Well, which one's it closest to? Well, let's think, what would halfway between them be? Well, half of 100 We can use our calculator. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So halfway would be 250. So 296, is it less than 250 or more? Well, 296 is going to be more than 250. So it's going to be in this half, which means it must be closer to 300. So there's our answer. And part B. Use the rounded number to check your answer to question 3. Well, if you remember question 3, we had 296 divided by 4. Well, what we're saying is instead of 296, they want us to use the rounded number. So we're saying we want 300 divided by 4. 300 divided by 4 is 75, which is approximately equal to 74 that we worked out. So that looks good. And that's all we're doing with the check. We're just trying to work out that we're close to what we did, but we're using rounded, easier to use numbers. Question 5. Ellery has this information about holiday activities. So we've got 3 different activities. We've got surfing, horse riding and climbing. And we've got information about how long they last, the time, and how much they cost. Ellery wants to show this information in a table. Organise the information in a table. Okay, well, we've got 3 bits of information. So let's draw a table with 3 headings. So we had the activity, the time, and the cost. And our activities were surfing, horse riding, and climbing. So basically I'm copying the information that they've given us, but in a slightly easy to read format. How long does the surfing take? Well, we can look back up here. 1 hour for the surfing and it costs £38. So we can put 1 hour, £38. We could put the hour up in the time to show it's the units and put the pound sign in the cost. It doesn't matter which way I want to do it. I'm going to leave the units down here because that's how I've started. So horse riding, 4 hours and £45. And climbing, that's 3 hours and £40. So all we've done is we've grouped the information together so we can see it nice and easy in one go. Question 6. Ellery goes to an obstacle course in the morning. She looks at the clock. What time does the clock show? Right, well, we have got some options, but I'm going to try and do it without the options to start with, and then we can check our answer. So if we draw a line down here, because this helps me, I always remember that on this side, this is always past the hour, and this side is to the hour. Okay, so we're looking at the, well, let's look at the little hand, the hour hand, and it's just, if you want to extend it down, it's just before the 8. Okay, so the hour before the 8 is 7, so it's going to be 7 something because we haven't reached 8 yet, so it must be 7 something. So if we want to know the minutes now, well, we've got the minute hand here pointing at the 11, but we need to start counting from the 12 going round in a clockwise direction. So if we count in our 5s, we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So it's 7:55. Or you could think, well, we've got 60 minutes in a whole hour. This is just one section before, so we can think of it as 60 minus 5. And you can check on your calculator, that's still going to give you 55. Right, so we've got a time of 7:55, and she said that it's in the morning, so it should be 7:55 a.m. Let's now see if that's one of our options. Yep, there it is. We could also do it as using a process of elimination. So we know it's in the morning, so it definitely can't be either of the PMs. And as I said, we saw the hour hand is before the 8, so it must start with a 7. So it definitely can't be that one either. Question 7. Kevin leads the obstacle course. There are 3 teams. Here are the total points for each team. So Team A got 220 points. Team B, 260 points, and Team C, 140 points. Kevin wants to show the points for each team on a bar chart. Complete the bar chart using a suitable scale. So they've started drawing it for us. We've got teams A, B and C, and we've got points up here. We always want to start by looking at the highest amount of points, which is 260, because we need to go up to at least that number. So, and we've sort of got it split into 3 sections. So maybe if we're going to start with 0 at the bottom, this could be 100, 200, 300. And that way everything's going to fit in because we know the most we're going up to is 260. So I'm going to do it like that. Now, if we're going up with these big ones in hundreds, I want to know what each of these smaller ones are worth. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections for 100. So we can say 100 divided by 5 is going to tell me what each of these is worth. So 100 divided by 5 is 20. So it's going to be like 20, 40, 60, 80, and it'll carry on going up. But we don't need to write them all in. We've got just our hundreds written in, that's fine. But now we need to draw our bars in. So for Team A, we need a bar that goes up to 220 points. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make these nice big wide bars. So we need 220. Well, this is 100. This is 200. And we said each of these is 20. So this would be 220 up here. So I'm going to draw a line across and a line down. So I'm going to have my bars touching. It's up to you if they're touching or if you want to have them narrower, that's fine. But just try to make all your bars roughly the same width. So for Team B, we've got 260 points. So here's B. So 100, 200, 220, 240, 260 is going to be up here. Continue that line that side. And do on that side as well. It doesn't need to be perfect, but use a ruler. At least you're making it tidy that way. And Team C had 140 points. So we're going to have 100s here, 120, 140. And there's our graph. Question 8. Kevin gives out medals. The medals are in different shapes. Which shape has a right angle? And tells us to tick the right shape. And we've got 4 to choose from. Well, a right angle is a 90-degree angle, or think of it as like a proper corner. So if I look at my ruler, it would be, all right, it's rounded here, but if you imagine that was sharp, that would be a right angle. And the reason I'm saying with my ruler is because I can use my ruler to see if I've got any right angles with these shapes. So for example, this shape here, I can see this angle is more than a right angle because we've got an extra bit there, so it can't be that corner. And if we look at this corner, the angle is less than a right angle, so it's not looking like that one. What about here? Well, if we put my ruler down in that corner, we can see it's fitting very nicely there. Horizontal, vertical, and we can even draw in the right angle there. But let's double check. Have we got any right angles in this shape? Well, again, let's try and fit the ruler in. It fits in it, and we've got even more left, so that's more than a right angle. And all of these angles look the same, so it's not that one. And this angle here, well, again, look, we can see, yeah, they're smaller than a right angle. Same with that one, and also this one here. So it's this shape here, our triangle. Question 9. Ellery goes to a horse riding class. There are 15 people in total in the class. 5 people in the class are disabled. Ellery thinks that 1/5 of the people in the class are disabled. Is Ellery correct? Okay, well, 1/5. So if we want to know what 1/5 of 15 is, well, it would be 15 divided by 5. As fifths, you're splitting it into 5 equal parts. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. But actually 5 people are disabled. So we can say 3 is not equal to 5. So is Ellery correct? No. And we've shown why we think that, so we don't need to write anything more. But we do need to tick no down here. Question 10. Ellery wants a surfing class in the afternoon. She wants the class to start between 2:30 and 4:30. What time will the class start? Okay, well, we've got 24-hour clocks here, so let's turn these times into 24-hour clocks. If these are in the afternoon, we need to add 12 hours to the hour. Okay, so 12 plus 2, or 2 plus 12, would make this time 14:30, and 12 plus 4 would make this time 16:30. So we want a time which is between 14:30 and 16:30. Well, 14:15 is going to be before 14:30, so that's no good. 02, well, that's nowhere near 14:30, that's 2 o'clock in the morning. Not going to be surfing then. Similarly, 03:45 is not between 14:30 and 16:30, but 15:15, so the 15, or that would be 3:15 in the afternoon, fits in nicely in that range. So that's going to be our time. Question 11. Ellery chooses a surfboard. She wants a surfboard with a length as close as possible to 2 meters. Which surfboard does Ellery choose? Okay, right. Now we've got 6 to choose from. Now we could rule out some of them, but actually, what's the best way to do it? You can test all of them. So, closest as possible to 2 meters. Well, let's find the difference. So for this one, the difference is going to be 2 minus 1.9. Sorry, 1.91. 2 minus 1.91. 0.09 meters. That's the difference. If we find the difference for all of them, then we want the smallest difference. Okay, 2.1 meters. We just want the actual difference. So we always want to do the bigger number first to find the difference. So 2.1 minus 2 meters is 0.1 meter. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way down. 2.3 minus 2 is 0.3 meters. This might not be the quickest way to do it, but it's a good way to make sure we've checked all of them. We want the difference, 2 minus 1.98 meters is 0.02 meters. Down here, if we do 2.04 minus 2 meters, we're left with 0.04 meters. And down here, we're going to do the 2 first because that's bigger. 2 is more than 1.84. And you get 0.16 meters. So we want the difference to be as small as possible to make it as close to 2. So we've got 0.09, 0.1, or 0.09 is smaller because we've got no tenths here. We've got 1/10 there, so it's not this one. Again, we've got 3/10 here and no tenths here, so this is bigger as well. 0.09 or 0.02, well, this one is now smaller, so it's not this one. 0.02 or 0.04, well, this one's going to be bigger, so let's keep this one here. And 0.16, so we've got 1/10, we've got no tenths there, so this one's bigger. So we're left with this one. If we wanted a different way of doing it, we could have said, well, which is the number that's closest to 2 meters, but less than 2 meters? So these three are all less than 2 meters, but this is the biggest one. So it would be either that one, or if we look at the numbers that are more than 2 meters, but then the smallest one, so the one that's closest to 2 meters, or 2.1, 2.3, 2.04. So we would then just be looking at these two numbers and saying, well, let's compare the differences. Which one is smaller? Would still get the 1.98 meters. Question 12. Ellery wants to go on a walk that starts and ends at the cottage. That's here. The diagram shows the footpaths she can take. Ellery wants to use the footpaths on her walk only once. She wants a walk that has a length of 11 kilometres. And just down here it says, plan a suitable walk for Ellery. Actually, so let's leave that there so we can see it. Okay, so we've got to start at the cottage. We need to find a route starting and ending here that adds up to 11 kilometres. So you can, this is sort of trial and error, any way you want to go. Let's go to the village first. So let's try going this way. So that would be 2 kilometres. And then, I don't know, let's go towards the woods. So 3 kilometres. So we've got 2 plus 3. And if we use the calculator so we can keep the track as we're going, that's 5 kilometres so far. We don't want to come straight back to the cottage because that's only going to take us up to 7. So what about if we go round to the farm? So we add on 4 to it. Well, that's 9 kilometres so far. We want to get up to 11. So from 9, 10, 11. So we need 2 more kilometres. Well, actually, we've got 2 kilometres here. So we can go back to the cottage. Okay. So our suitable walk for Ellery is going to be cottage to the village and then to the woods. Oh, and then we went to the farm, and from the farm back to the cottage. Question 13. Ellery goes surfing. The surfboard is facing west. What fraction does Ellery turn the surfboard to face east? Okay, so think of a fraction. Well, 1, so like a full turn would be all the way around. We just want it to go halfway round. So we're just going to have 1/2. Okay, so all the way would go that way. just pointing straight up to north would be a quarter turn. This is going round to east, so that's half of a turn. Question 14. Ellery wants to buy some tea bags. These are the number of tea bags in each box. So you can buy 40 in a box, 80 in a box, 120 in a box. The number of tea bags in each box follows a pattern. What is the next number in the pattern? Well, with these kind of patterns, we're looking to see what the difference is between them. So let's start off. What's the difference between 40 and 80? So take the bigger number, 80, and subtract the smaller number, and we get 40. So we're adding on 40 to that one. Let's check the difference here. So we can take the bigger number, 120, subtract 80, and we get 40. So it's going up in 40 each time. So if we want to know the next one, we want to add on another 40. So 120 plus 40, we get 160. And we can put that in here. Question 15. Ellery buys these items from a shop. We've got tea bags, £2.89, and bread, 81p. How much does Ellery spend in total? Use correct money format. Okay, so we've got one in pounds and one in pence. We want to have them in the same. So if we want to turn them into pence, we can think £2.89. We can think of that as 289p or pence. Then if we add the two together, 289 plus 81, we get 370p. And that would be absolutely fine as your answer. Alternatively, you can say, well, we've got £2.89. We can write the bread in pounds. Now, if it's pounds, well, we've got no pounds, but we have got 81p. And when you're writing money, if you put the pound sign, you don't add the p as well. So we could do it this way. We'd then have 2.89 plus 0.81, which is 3.7. Because it's money, we have to make it £3.70. Okay, so this is an option. Either one of these is going to give you the right answer. And you'll get the marks. Either one. Don't do both. Pick the one that you're more comfortable with. You can do it the other way to check if you want to. That's fine. Question 16. Ellery cooks dinner. She pours some milk into this jug. Okay, we can see where it's reached. Ellery needs a total of half a litre of milk. She thinks she needs to pour 440 millilitres more milk into the jug. Is Ellery correct? Okay, well, let's work out how much we've got in the jug already. Well, we've got 100 millilitres here, 200 millilitres here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. And we know that the difference is 100. So like we did before with the graph, we're going to do 100 divided by 5 to tell us what each of these little divisions is worth. So 100 divided by 5 is 20. So we'd have 120, 140. This one is 160. Right, so that's 160 millilitres. She needs a total of half a litre of milk. Well, 1 litre, and you need to know this one, is 1,000 millilitres. So half a litre is going to be 1,000 divided by 2, which is 500 millilitres. So if we need 500 millilitres, we've already got 160. So if we subtract 160, it'll tell us how much more we need. 500 minus 160 means we need 340 millilitres more milk. Well, 340 is not equal to 440 millilitres, so is Ellery correct? No, she's not. We can mark that down here. And finally, question 17. Ellery needs 350 grams of flour to make a pie. She weighs some flour. Here we've got it pointing to here. There is more flour than Ellery needs for the pie. How much more flour is there than Ellery needs to the nearest division? So nearest division, remember, nearest marking. So this is the marking. This is the closest one. So that's the one we want to look at. Well, we're going to do something similar to before. We want to find, well, what's each of these sections worth? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections there. But this time we're only going from 400 to 450. So it's going up by 50. So in total there's 50, and we're splitting it into 5 sections. So 50 divided by 5 gives us that each section is worth 10 grams. So how much is this measurement here? Well, this is 400, so 410, 420. This one must be 430. Okay. Right, that's how much we've got, 430. But we want to know how much more we've got than what we need. Well, we only needed 350. So if we take off the 350, we'll see how much is left over. grams. And we can put that on the answer line down here. And that's the end of the paper. Hope you found it helpful. Please subscribe to the channel. Put your notifications on so you find out when I add more videos. Give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you've got any questions. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.